Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with SBR contributor Jordan Sharp, and today we're going to be covering how the odds have been acting up for the game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. How you doing today, Jordan?
Doing good, Dax. Thanks for having me back.
All right, my pleasure, my man. All right, well, the Raiders, they got their first win of the season this past Thursday nighter against the Chiefs, so it kind of looks like it could be the week where underdogs can potentially pull an upset against the favorites. But I really don't think that this is going to be the case in this game. Now, bookies at Pinnacle Sports actually agree, as they opened up Indy as 14.5 points, and that was quickly bet down to 13.5 and then 13. But then it started to go back up again, and now we can even find some books posting up at high of 15 points. Now, looking at the trends, Jacksonville is 1-9 straight up and 2-7-1 against the spread, while Indy, on the other hand, is 6-4 straight up and 7-3 against the spread. Now, everything is pointing in favor of the Colts, as they are 14-2 against the spread in their last 16 games, following an against the spread loss, and 15-3 against the spread in their last 18 games against the AFC South teams. Now, as for the Jags, they're very poor. I mean, they've gone 21-2 against the spread in their last 31 games overall. So this gets me to actually thinking, I mean, we could easily see this line closing at 15, maybe even 15.5. But what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think if you got this line under 2 touchdowns, I think you should feel very happy with yourself because, I mean, at this point, it seems like Indy just has their number, and you would think of it as, oh well, it's a divisional game, it's going to be a lot closer. But I mean, literally, the Jacksonville Jaguars have the closest they've been in the last 2 years to the Indianapolis Colts is 17 points. And it's been 34-20 and then, like 27 at the most recent spread earlier in the season. So, Indianapolis just blows the crap out of Jacksonville every time they play. So it's hard for me to really get behind Jacksonville at any number at this point. And like you said, wouldn't surprise me at all to see this line keep going up and see it close, upwards of 15.5 or so before kickoff, because it just seems like that's where the line's going. Now, personally, when a football spread gets this high, there's not much you can do with it other than tease it or just leave it alone, in my opinion. Yeah. So, however, if the Indianapolis defense can play, up to par here this week, and do some of the things that they have been holding down Jacksonville too, which Jacksonville, the most they scored against the Indianapolis Colts in the last 2 years, those 17 points that they got earlier in the year. And with the news that Dwayne Allen's going to be out, Indianapolis is going to be down a little bit of offense. So at 50.5, one of the highest totals of the week. Under 50.5 might be a really good play this week. I think that's definitely where I would recommend going with this game instead of worrying about whether or not the Colts are going to blow out the Jags. However, that being said, BetDSI and Bookmaker still have the line at 13.5. So, and Heritage as well. So if you want to go grab those, I would definitely recommend it with the under too. Rare that I like the favorites and the under, but I think this one, it's actually an interesting case that it could work out in your favor.
So do you actually expect the Colts to put up the points all by themselves?
I mean, is that not, legitimate for me to believe? I mean, I'm thinking maybe like, I don't know, let's call it 34-14, and the under cashes with a total of 48 points. I mean, I don't think that's too far-fetched for this game. Well,
you're giving a little too much to the Jaguars in this case, but yeah, I can see them scoring a couple of touchdowns. I was expecting maybe one.
Touchdowns late in the fourth quarter. I mean, I'd give them one of those. If the Colts are up 30 points, I mean, they're not going to be exactly playing their first-string defense, I think, late in the fourth quarter. So the Jags will get a touchdown or two, maybe 10. We'll say 10 points to 14 points. I think will be their final score before the end of this. But yeah, I can't see the Colts scoring less than 30 points in this game. I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with the 10 points. I see a touchdown and a field goal would be suffice for the Jaguars in this case. In any case, my man, as always, it's a pleasure talking football with you, and I look forward to doing this again next week, man.
All right, Dax, thanks.
No problem. And for SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.